There are moments in WWE history that fans never forget. Some are legendary, others are heartbreaking. And then there are the World Championship reigns that leave fans angry, disappointed, or even embarrassed to be watching. Imagine this, the most important title in wrestling history, being placed on the shoulders of someone who couldn't carry the company, couldn't wrestle well, or in some cases, didn't even deserve the belt. The WWE World Championship has been held by legends like Stone Cold, The Rock, John Cena, Roman Reigns, and Bret Hart. But it's also been held by names that made fans shake their heads and ask, why did this happen? These are the reigns that broke the fans' trust, the reigns that destroyed momentum, the reigns that made people change the channel. Today, we dive into the dark side of WWE history. These are the top 10 worst WWE World Champions of all time. Welcome back to Hava Wrestling Documentary, everyone. If you love wrestling storytelling, WWE history, and the kind of deep dives that other channels don't give you, you're in the right place. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next upload. Now, let's get into it. Number 10. Jinder Mahal, 2017. In 2017, WWE made one of the most shocking world title decisions in history. Jinder Mahal, who had been a lower card wrestler for most of his career, suddenly became WWE Champion after beating Randy Orton at Backlash.
Oh, the Colossus! You got it! Do we have it? You're kidding me! You're kidding me!
Fans were stunned. Just weeks earlier, Jinder was losing on Main Event. Now he was champion of the entire company. WWE's plan was clear. They wanted to grow business in India. But instead of building Jinder's credibility, they simply handed him the belt. His matches were sloppy, the crowd reactions were weak, and most of his victories came because of interference from the Singh brothers. Fans didn't believe in him. The belt felt meaningless. By the time AJ Styles took it from him later that year, most fans were just relieved it was over.
Phenomenal! He hit it! AJ Styles, cover!
Number 9. Vince McMahon, 1999. Yes, the chairman himself. In September 1999, Vince McMahon defeated Triple H to win the WWE Championship on SmackDown. This reign didn't last long, only 6 days, but the damage was done. The boss of the company, holding the title he created, made the belt look like a prop instead of a prize. Fans already knew wrestling was scripted, but this was a breaking point. It wasn't about athletic ability, storytelling, or hard work. It was just Vince putting himself in the spotlight. And that is why his reign is one of the worst in history. Number 8. The Great Khali, 2007. Fast forward to 2007, Edge had just been forced to give up the World Heavyweight Championship because of injury. WWE needed a new champion for SmackDown, and they decided to hold a battle royal. Fans expected a big name like Batista or Kane to walk out with the gold, but instead, the winner was the Great Khali. At first, it looked impressive. This man was over 7 feet tall, a giant who towered over everyone in the ring. He looked like a real-life monster. But here's the problem. Once the shock wore off, fans realized he couldn't wrestle, couldn't cut promos, and couldn't connect with the audience. Khali's offense was basically 3 moves: a chop to the head, a big boot, and the Khali vice grip. That's it. His matches were slow, awkward, and often embarrassing to watch. Instead of feeling like a world champion, he felt like a circus act. At SummerSlam 2007, Khali defended the title in a triple threat against Batista and Kane. The crowd wanted anyone but Khali to win. The match was sloppy, and when Khali retained, fans groaned. It wasn't heel heat. It wasn't the kind of booing you give a villain you love to hate. It was the kind of booing you give when you feel robbed of entertainment. For 2 months, Khali carried the World Heavyweight Championship, and every week, SmackDown felt weaker. Fans didn't buy into him. He didn't elevate the belt. In fact, the belt dragged him. and he dragged it down even further. When Batista finally beat Khali for the title, it wasn't a celebration of a great reign ending. It was relief, pure relief. The belt was finally back on someone who could at least carry a match. The Great Khali's world title reign is remembered as one of the worst, not because he wasn't intimidating, but because he proved that size alone doesn't make a champion. The world title is supposed to represent the best of the best, and in 2007, WWE handed it to a man who was clearly nowhere near ready. Number 7. David Arquette, 2000 WCW. Okay, technically this is WCW, but it's impossible to leave out. WCW and WWE share history, and this is one of the most infamous examples of a bad champion. In 2000, WCW was dying. Ratings were falling, storylines made no sense, so what did they do? They put the world title on actor David Arquette to promote the movie Ready to Rumble. Arquette won the WCW Championship in a tag team match where the stipulation said whoever got the pin would win the title.
There's a referee. He's over towards Arquette. 1, 2, 3. What?
Fans in the arena looked stunned. On commentary, even Tony Schiavone sounded embarrassed. Arquette himself hated it. He said he never wanted the belt because he wasn't a wrestler. He ended up donating his WCW paychecks to the families of wrestlers who had died. This move destroyed WCW's credibility. Fans stopped watching in huge numbers. Even today, people point to Arquette's title reign as the moment WCW became a joke. Number 6. Jack Swagger, 2010. Swagger had the look of an athlete. WWE wanted him to be the next Kurt Angle, but he lacked charisma. His promos were stiff and fans didn't connect with him. At WrestleMania 26, Swagger won Money in the Bank. Just days later, he cashed in on Chris Jericho to win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Get a ref out here right now. I'm cashing in my Money in the Bank. Oh, yeah! This is it. Jack Swagger for the cover. 1, 2, 3.
Swagger's reign exposed him. His matches were fine, but his personality wasn't there. He cut promos that dragged.
You, when you were in school, considered yourself a member of National Honor Society.
He carried himself awkwardly as champion. Crowds didn't boo him, they ignored him. And when wrestling fans don't react at all, that's the worst sign. He lost the title to Rey Mysterio at Fatal 4-Way.
You can see Mysterio over the top. Away! Where's the legs?
By then, nobody cared about Swagger as champion. Number 5. Psycho Sid, 1996 and 1997. Sid was big, muscular, and intense. WWE wanted him to be their monster champion, but the truth was, Sid wasn't that good in the ring. Sid beat Shawn Michaels in 1996 to win the WWE Championship. The crowd reaction was mixed. People were shocked, but they knew he wasn't on Shawn's level. He had another reign in 1997 after beating Bret Hart, but again, the matches weren't good. Sid looked lost in the ring at times, and he lacked the depth to carry the company. Fans respected his size, but they didn't see him as a true champion. He was always overshadowed by bigger stars like Shawn, Bret, and The Undertaker. Both reigns were short and forgettable. Sid was a placeholder, not a leader. Number 4. Hulk Hogan, 2002. By 2002, Hogan was a legend, but he was also almost 50 years old and broken down physically. WWE was in a new era, with stars like Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, and a rising Brock Lesnar. At Backlash 2002, Hogan defeated Triple H to win the undisputed WWE Championship.
Look out here! Now!
Fans cheered because it was Hogan, but deep down, everyone knew it was a mistake. Hogan couldn't move well in the ring. His matches were slow and predictable. The belt was supposed to represent the future, but Hogan represented the past. Some fans loved the nostalgia. Others felt robbed because younger stars were ready to shine. Hogan dropped the title to The Undertaker a month later. The reign was short, but it felt like wasted time. Number 3. Stan Stasiak, 1973. Let's go all the way back to the 1970s. Wrestling was different back then. Slower pace, more about selling the drama in the ring, less about high spots. But one thing has always been true. The world champion is supposed to be the man, the one you build the company around. In December 1973, Pedro Morales had been champion for nearly 3 years. He was loved, but WWE, then known as WWF, wanted to get the belt back to Bruno Sammartino, their biggest star ever. But there was a problem. They didn't want Morales, a babyface, to lose directly to Sammartino, another babyface, so they needed a middleman. Enter Stan the Man Stasiak. Stasiak wasn't a bad wrestler. He was a tough guy, a decent heel, but he was never seen as a top star. He wasn't Bruno. He wasn't Morales. He was just a placeholder. On December 1st, 1973, Stasiak shocked fans by beating Pedro Morales for the WWF Championship. Imagine the confusion in the crowd. Morales had carried the company for years, and now he was dropping the belt to a guy who felt second-rate. Fans didn't boo with passion. They didn't cheer. They just sat there, stunned. And then, just 9 days later, Stasiak lost the belt to Bruno Sammartino. 9 days, no big defenses, no legendary promos, no feuds, nothing. Just a transitional reign. This is what makes it one of the worst world title runs in history. Not because Stasiak himself was awful, but because the company treated the belt like a tool instead of a prize. The world title should never be used as a shortcut to move the belt from one guy to another. It should mean something every single time. When fans look back on that era, they remember Morales, they remember Bruno. But Stasiak? Forgotten. His reign is a trivia answer, not a legacy. And that's the worst kind of champion, the one who leaves no impact at all. Number 2, Rey Mysterio, 2011. Rey Mysterio is one of the most beloved wrestlers ever, but WWE ruined his one big chance as WWE Champion in 2011. On Raw, Rey won a tournament to crown a new champion after CM Punk left with the belt. It was emotional. Fans were thrilled. Rey finally did it! But just hours later, John Cena challenged him and beat him for the title on the same night.
One more time on speed dial. Cena. The cover, and Cena has done it.
Fans were furious. They saw it as a slap in the face. Rey deserved a real run, but WWE turned his dream into a joke. Number 1, Kofi Kingston, 2019. Kofi Mania was beautiful. Enthusiastic fans pushed for him. His WrestleMania 35 win over Daniel Bryan was one of the greatest moments in modern WWE history. But after that, WWE didn't treat Kofi like a top guy. He defended the title against Dolph Ziggler, Samoa Joe, and Randy Orton, but always in the mid-card. The belt didn't feel important. Then came the ultimate insult. On the premiere episode of SmackDown on FOX, Brock Lesnar beat Kofi in 8 seconds. Fans were outraged. Months of build destroyed in less than 10 seconds. Kofi never got a rematch, never got revenge, never even spoke about it again. What started as a dream became one of the most disappointing world title reigns ever. So there you have it, 10 of the worst world championship reigns in WWE history. Some were failures because of booking, some because the wrestler wasn't ready, and some because the company simply didn't care about the fans' trust. The WWE World Championship is supposed to mean something, but these reigns remind us that when the wrong person holds it, the entire company can suffer. What do you think? Did we miss anyone? Who do you believe was the worst world champion of all time? Let us know in the conversations. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.